Here we are.
So guys, this is the semi-final of AntecAttack. This is game one of a best of three. It is between Krass, who is the green Terran in the lower left, and Blast Roof, who is the purple Zerg in the top right. Well, that means that it is a TVZ. I am SC2 England, and my co-caster is Pewee. Say hi,
Hey
Pewee.
guys. Hello.
So, firstly, Krass, we've just watched his quarter-final game, and it was sweet.
Yes.
He just dominated. It was sick. 2-0, just sweet, just riding it out. All happy. Roof, on the other hand, we watched one of his games earlier. He played really sweet as well, tight game. Map's Daybreak, which is everyone's favourite map, isn't it, Pew?
Yeah, pretty much. Like this is the map everyone's happy to play on.
It's been around for like ever.
I never noticed that circling in the hologram by the ramp at Terran's base. Because
Yeah.
here, like, it pops up now
Is
that
there
it's...
on the other side?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
you mean on... Yeah.
Yeah, it
That-
changes the unit. It comes up on the hologram.
Oh, yeah, it does.
That is a good little observation there. Never noticed
I
that.
didn't even... What is it at the moment? It looks like... Okay, that's a circling.
Okay, this is a new
It's a-
game for us.
That's a big circling, that one
Let's zoom
is.
in. That looks like DNA or something.
Yeah.
Now it's nothing. But we do have Roof, he's
That was a
expanding
face crawler.
behind this.
There was a face crawler from Aliens, man, that one was. And he actually has a gas as well, so it could be straight up reactor Hellions, which is a little
Yeah.
rarer, but still to an extent viable as well.
I know, it can be good. I mean, obviously Roof is playing standard, he's gone for a 15 hatch 16. It's going to be a 16 pull, there we go. No, it's actually 15 hatch 15 pull. So,
Mm.
just slightly quicker. But the gas is really unusual because obviously most Terran players have taken to going either command center first or one racks command center against Zerg. So, I don't know. I don't reckon it will be reactor Hellions, just because as an opening after the Queen range
Yeah.
change, it isn't viable. You have to be lucky for it to work, or it's basically an all-in.
Well, his gas seems a little bit late for a standard reactor Hellion, but he still has a factory coming down now.
Unless it's a Marauder Hellion all-in.
Possibly. But he doesn't have enough gas for the reactor. So it's like if it is, the timing's just a little bit off.
Who knows?
We will see. It's the reactor. There it is. Okay, so it's reactor Hellion. It's just a little bit delayed. He's probably going to pop one Hellion and then swap
And he
them.
has now pulled out all the SCVs from gas, so that does say that it's going to be reactor Hellions, not a Marauder Hellion all-in.
Yes. Well, there's still one, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not enough to do it though. The only other thing we could have is if we don't see a command center soon, although we do have 400 minerals now, so it's going to be a
Okay.
reactor Hellion expand, which Krass, you just need to come back to the modern days. You're about 3 months. Well, not even
No,
that,
about
about
6
2 months.
weeks. 7 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, 2 months backdated. But if he makes this work, I mean, the thing is, when metagame shifts so hard, as it has in ZvT after the Queen change, if you do go for one of those older strategies, it can confuse the hell out of your opponent.
Yeah. That is very true. Is, old builds still do work, especially if they're unscouted, which at the moment, Roof hasn't seen anything.
No,
He
he will now see the Hellions coming across and will know the timing of them. He does have 2 Queens on the low ground.
I was looking at his point of view. He didn't look at them, but he must have seen them on the minimap.
Yeah. Keely is that we do have another Queen coming up. So that'll take him up to 4 Queens. Now hold off 2. He'll need at least, well, Krass will need at least 6 Hellions to be able to push through that. But he
Yep.
stopped at
And we
4.
actually, sorry, we actually have another command center
Yeah.
in production. So it's slightly a bit odd compared to your standard, but it's still viable.
But we do have a 3rd base coming down for Roof now, which could be a bit.
We have 4
Difficult.
Hellions running in, and he's gonna be able to get some drones here. And he actually managed to get a lot of drones. Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh wow! And
This
get
is
those.
pretty sick.
Oh, there were like a bunch of them queued up then. He managed to get 9. And what was that, 6 Hellions? No, it was 4 Hellions. So they just paid for themselves, and speed just kicks in then at the same time as the last Hellion dies.
I mean, that's knocked back Roof's economy temporarily. It forced quite a few Zerglings, and also with the third command center coming out for Krass, he may be able to catch up in terms of the economy.
I think that's definitely doable. That was I wasn't expecting him to do that much damage so
No,
early.
you don't see that too often. To be fair, it's
No.
pretty crazy. We do have an engineering bay on the way down for Krass. Or it's about to go down.
Whoa.
Double engineering bay as well at that, so that's pretty cool.
Okay. And
Um,
some Zerglings try to get into the main there, but they get blocked off just in time.
So that
Um,
third command center wasn't spotted, which of course
It wasn't.
is critical. The third base for Roof
Yes.
has just finished though. And the creep spread is awesome, and this is why every Zerg player watching get extra queens. Basically,
It's true.
that's just
We
like
have-
I don't know.
He doesn't have that many
more
queens
ways
though.
to
He only has
emphasize it.
4.
Yeah, but 4 on 3 bases. Well, look at the creep tumors; they're everywhere. And now
Well,
we
he
can
had
just...
he had 4 before the bases. He actually has a 5th one in production as well. So we will see a lot of creep come up very soon.
This is just awesome. I love it. Spread that creep. Go on. Just go everywhere. Spread it. That's what you should do. Anyway, we do have the double upgrades coming out from both players.
We have
So
4
that's gonna be very
aliens. The 4 aliens try to get in on the action, but they pull back as soon as they see the Zerglings.
good. Which, who can blame them? Because you don't want to try and push into 3 queens and Zerglings.
Go on.
ultimately. Do you
One
get
creep
one
tumor.
creep tumor? The
Oh.
Hellions get surrounded though, 2 go down. That's
Oh.
quite a loss. That's a nice little move there. And the creep tumors still get up, and the creep's going to keep spreading. So, not a huge problem. The Baning Nest is on its way down. Where is that Baning Nest? At the 3rd. So, this is really gearing up for Roof to be exactly where he wants. And of course, in the last game of his we cast, he went for that Mutiling Bling play, which worked very nicely. So maybe we'll see that again. Maybe he'll go for Infestors. He's got the lair done, so I expect to see momentarily.
Starport now in production as well.
There's
Oh.
the Spire, so as I thought, there goes the
Excuse me.
Mutalisks.
Yeah, I was
So
about to say, there it is.
this is really, really solid play. It's consistent as well, and I think that's so important in StarCraft, is make sure you have a consistent build, a consistent style, because until you get to the real highest of the high level, you don't need multiple builds in my opinion. Unless you're playing best of 3s regularly, just learn one build against each race and do that build every single game. What's your thoughts, Pew?
Well, by when you get good, what do you mean by that? Masters?
I mean, at least kind of mid-masters.
You'd be surprised. Different maps, you have to do different builds to an extent on different maps, just because like there's a lot of variances.
I mean,
But,
it depends on the race as well, though. For Zerg, it doesn't really matter what map you're on.
Yeah.
It's pretty similar with what you're going to do, or what you can do. I mean, especially against Terran, it's always going to be, regardless of the map, 15 hatch, 16 pull. It's
Yeah.
just what you do. And then you have a choice of either going Mutalisks or Infestors. Both are viable. On Daybreak, there's a lot of dead space behind the main, so I guess that lends itself to air. But to be honest, it's a choice. But we do, again, have Krass going for these missile turrets. Good choice.
Yeah. We have 10 Mutalisks and +1 started for the Mutalisks straight away. And one thing, the turrets are a bit far away from the mirror line, so they're not going to be super easy to repair, but they're not super far either. But there's actually, they're a bit at the edge of the base, like you should just fly in around them, in my opinion.
Now we do have what looks like a drop gearing up here, ready for Krass, but the Marines deciding to run instead. But all the mutas are there, the medevac's going to go down. This is unfortunate. The Marines probably won't get away. The Zerglings are trying to get us around, but the Baning picked off. But that was a nice little clean-up there for Roof. Some essentially free units. No one can complain about free stuff. And, well, economy-wise, if we take a look at the work account, it's now 80 to 70, essentially. Which,
With 3 meals.
with 3 mules, means Krass is actually ahead in terms of the income
Yes.
by quite a chunk.
Okay, here we are. 2 more turrets thrown up, which is exactly what we wanted. And he nearly loses 2 Mutalisks. One has like 2 health. But with the extra bonus health, it was a 1 there. But what's his name now? I keep forgetting Roof in there.
Yeah,
Roof
Roof.
actually has 5 bases plus an extra macro hatch at his 3rd. So his economy is going to be a little bit better. Oh, actually, he must have just spent some drones on building. So he's
Redroning up, so
yeah.
that's very, very good. He's actually getting slightly too many, in my opinion. He's going to be up at like 90.
Yeah, I
Hive is on
think
the
some
way.
of
A
them might be.
second macro hatch coming out, which is essential. But now Roof's production is just going to be sick.
Yeah, I know he can afford to just build, we call them spine crawlers for the
Yeah.
extra drones if he needs them. But yeah, because of the extra bases and all that, his saturation is going to be much better. His gas income is going to be.
Well, it's not only that. It's the additional hatcheries and macro hatches mean that even though he's got a lot of drones, he can just relentlessly make units. Basically, he
Yeah.
can just keep pumping, pumping, pumping. He's got the lava there, so just endless
could-
attack.
He can swarm it up like a Zerg,
Should.
and the mulas are doing some damage.
But this is allowing Krass to move out. Krass is just
Yes.
going to go and put on the paint, and there's a good number of tanks, a huge number of marines.
But he's going to get them before they siege up, and this could be really bad. And he doesn't
Well,
really
a
move
lot of the
circles.
banelings get picked off there, and that's the big problem.
That was.
But the tank numbers kept really, really low. But 44 more Zerglings and 5 Infestors coming in behind this. And essentially, Krass just needs to pump a lot of stuff very quickly now.
Yes, absolutely. And this is getting a bit close now. The Banelands can do a lot more damage because there's only 3 tanks, which is actually not that many.
But there's not that
And-
many banelings made yet.
No.
They're quickly trying to morph in, and we may actually see Roof sacrifice the center base, but good fungal growth goes off. And with the Muta support, we'll pick that off, but the Muta's going to go down. The fungal growth, absolutely beautiful. That's pretty much the most fungals you
Oh,
can
yeah.
get.
And another one
chain
goes down on
fungling,
top
and
of
that's
them.
just making balls of marines explode, which is always
And
fun.
one infestor nearly goes down there. He was targeted by a marine, but he did save it. And he's actually burrowing the infestors.
Well, that's to basically chuck infested Terrans on top of
Yeah.
the tank so they can't do anything.
Oh.
And
It's Mori.
Murray is lagging. This is, of course, there's a lot of observers in, so sometimes people can get internet problems because,
I thought that was me then.
well, they
What's
come
that?
from all over Europe, pretty much.
Yeah, they actually do. And yeah, as you were saying, he is actually he's going for the infested Terrans to distract the tanks, and there's only 3 tanks, which is pretty big because, in my opinion, like you can throw a lot of infested Terrans, and the tanks can be completely occupied. So I feel like he'll break this.
Pretty comfortably.
Yes,
Or he should do anyway.
or when Mori leaves.
Yeah, well, of course, people can't kick him if he's just lagging out, his internet's frozen. Can't get him out any quicker because he hasn't completely dropped off of battle now. So this is all good fun. But 3, 2, 1, or not. Players clearly being nice. Obviously, only the players can choose to kick him.
Yeah.
And there you
There
go. Mori's out. So now we've got these infestors burrow coming up at the tanks.
And we
What
have
can
5
they do?
tanks now come in.
Good infested
And
Terrans
there's
going down.
Scan.
Well, the Zerglings running in. One tank goes down there. It is good tank spread though. But I just feel there's too much stuff here for Roof.
There is now. He did lose all the infestors there during that scan, so that's a pretty big thing to note. Lots more Zerglings in production, +3/+3 in production for the Terran as well, and the Zerg manages.
3 is going to be coming in any second for Roof
Yeah.
as well. And the Adrenal Glands coming out and Ultralisks.
And all the medevacs get picked off as well, and they're actually an even supply, crazily enough.
But then you've got to remember the worker count. Wow, I thought Roof would be way ahead, but it's not. It's 79 to 83 workers.
Yep.
That's insane.
Big.
So essentially, we need to see Krass get some more production up to really be able to deal with that. And that is exactly what he's doing now. He's getting up a lot of add-ons for some factories and barracks between his natural and third. And
Right,
well,
so-
Pew, who do you reckon's in their lead at the moment?
I feel like Roof is, because he's had his economy like sorted for longer, and he is on 5 bases, so he has better saturation with gas income. So I feel like that is giving him an advantage, or an advantage that'll play out into the late game. But you can be ahead and have a bad engagement and lose yourself the game. So we'll see what happens next.
I mean, the key thing is these tier 3 units are coming out for Roof now. The Ultras are on their way, the 3/3 upgrades, the Ultra Armor upgrade. We've also got some Burrow Banelings on. I love the fact Roof utilises Burrow Banelings so well.
Yes.
It's
Where are the
beautiful.
Borrowed Banelands?
They
I see
are.
them.
They are just, well, in the south position.
Yeah,
Under.
there's only one position, and he's going into the main with mutas, but oh my god, there's so many turrets there that you would have to have a death wish.
Exactly. We do have a Burrowed Zergling up at the very top as well, just keeping an eye on expansions, which is great. But these center rocks are going to go down, and I think that's a great choice by Krass.
Yeah.
Because then
And
he
that
can
means-
reinforce quickly, and he's going to be fine. But both
And that
players pretty
means-
much maxed out.
Yes. And sadly, we may not get to see these Banelands being used. Oh, he's going after one tank there. Okay.
Doesn't quite manage to get it though, and of course now this centre base for Roof is looking to be a problem, but all
And
of Roof's army going over the top, are they going to try and loop around behind?
I think they are. And he's going for it. He's mainly going for the 4th base though.
Of course the problem is the tanks are really spread out, which
Yes.
means that it'd be really hard to engage into it, especially with meta units. And well, this could be a bit of a problem for Roof. Now this wasn't that cost effective. Yes, he got the 4th base, but at what price?
Yep. And now there are Stim Marines going in to take care of one of the bases. There is an Infester, but it does not have enough energy for a Fungal.
All the drones
And-
have now been pulled from that base, so that's pretty much saying where it's going to go.
Yeah, and he's fighting now with the reinforcements. There are so many Zerglings about to pop right by here. Sick Fungal as well.
I know that Fungal was absolutely magical.
Once he kills all the Marines, though, then the tanks are dead.
Well,
because
the
of
Zerglings
Mutas.
are going straight in. Adrenal Glands and 3-3 is done. So those Zerglings are insanely powerful. I mean, you can already see just how much damage they're doing there. The 4th base is being retaken here by Krass as we speak. That was a pretty sick engagement. I mean, in terms of workers, they're both bang on equal. This is pretty sick.
Yeah. The supply is in Krass's favour as well, which is important to note.
Yeah.
Because Terran should never really be further ahead. Income. Oh my god, look at the units lost. 14,000 to 23,000 in Krass's favour.
Krass has been engaging very cost effectively. It's
Yeah.
because he's spreading out his tanks ultimately. That is what's helping him. Is his tank spread is beautiful. Like, genuinely perfect.
It is very impressive, actually.
Now, really, where does Roof go from here? He's not got Broodlords up. And I think that's the problem. He needs that. The Greatest Spire, I believe, was done.
Yeah, it's done. He doesn't have any cutters either, so
Yeah.
he's a solid minute away from having
But
that.
here we
And
go,
he's
big force going in here, and well, this is absolutely huge. Baneling's going on everywhere, massive fungal growth going down, infested terrans being thrown, and it looks like Krass is going to hold that push up, and now Krass is going to be able to counter-attack so hard.
Yep. That's what it's looking like.
Well, the centre hatchery is going to go down without a doubt, and the 4th and 3rd base are looking pretty vulnerable as well. And of course, Krass is at 180 supply to 120 basically for Roof. That's not a nice position to be in as a Zerg. There are
No.
a couple of infestors out, but they don't have much energy. A couple of infestors getting taken down. Now this very south base Roof is about to get annihilated. Actually, no, pulling back to try and deal with this, but a great pickup. Absolutely
And
beautiful there.
And there's not enough energy for Fungal either. 120 supply via 184. That gives Krass a massive advantage now.
It's not only
I
that,
think-
but if you look at the army supply, it's basically double the army for Krass, which is absolutely sick.
Yeah.
Roof's putting up a
And-
good defense though, but Banelings are connecting well, and the trouble is Krass has to avoid getting messy. He doesn't want to get sloppy with his play and allow big Baneling hits like that, because that's how you go from winning a game to losing a game.
Yeah, that is so true. And like, Krass doesn't have to, if he keeps pushing slowly and smartly, he should be able to just take the game right here.
I mean, there's nothing really there for Roof. He is, though, slowly creeping up higher with that supply, though. And as those ultras start coming out, as those infestors start pumping, suddenly Roof starts getting those power units he needs to really deal with this force. But the medevac number is just so high for Krass. That is the big thing. But the tank number? What's the tank number at? Well, 8. Where are they all? There's apparently
I
8
have no idea.
tanks.
Okay, there's 2 coming out now. None stuck. Okay. There's 4 of them stuck in the base, I think.
Yeah, there are. That is so frustrating, but they have been noticed and are now moving.
There we are.
A Zergling is going to try and block this 5th attempt out of Krass, but Krass taking a 5th base now is just in such a money position. A scan will go down any second. There we go.
There we are.
So this is pretty normal, but we do have the ultras moving through the middle. 2 tanks unsieged are going to be
Ooh.
taken down for free in effect. And no one complains about that, and suddenly Roof is looking to be leveling up the supply.
Yeah, it's 11 difference now from 60 earlier. Okay, no 14, but still.
This is pretty sick, but we do have Krass moving down to the Burrowed Banelings there. The Burrowed Banelings! Used! They're selected! Ah!
Garrett, oh no.
Oh, I
That
got
did
so
not go the way
genuinely
we
happy
had
there.
hoped.
Every part of me just hoping, wishing, willing it to go down. but unfortunately it won't. So we do have a bit of a, well, it looks like Roof is just going to go straight for that centre base again, but he's going to sacrifice his south base for the centre base. I don't think that's a wise choice.
No, this is. I don't really know what to make of this. He's going for it, and
It's almost
he
a
will get it.
desperation base trade, which, with his army composition, may not be awful, but still, Krass, he can take out this centre base, go around, pull back, and deal with it. But Roof is ahead in supply at the moment, and just so many infested Terrans coming down. Is this going to be a flat-out base race for you?
Well, I hope not, because you should never really, base race a Terran.
No, they can
But,
just lift.
Yeah, so it could be interesting, especially with all these Vikings already out on the map. That makes such a big difference.
Exactly, but having said that, this base is getting cleaned up very, very nicely by Roof. He does have 3-3 done, of course, and Adrenal Glands, which just means they do so much damage. But of course, Krass himself has good upgrades. He's taking out the natural. This is just going to be a pure base race. But this is exactly why you don't base race a Terran, because lifting. And suddenly now, Roof, he doesn't have any air units, and he can't deal with it, so he's pretty much lost now. I don't see any way he can come back from this.
Well, he still has enough money for a hatchery.
True.
He nearly has enough for two. There's two hatcheries.
But I mean, he can't deal with this force. He can't deal with this army in the slightest. I mean, if you look at the army supply, it's pretty much
he has spellcasters, and he has a lot of them.
Yeah.
So if he uses his spellcasters, has a good trade, lets them build their energy, because he has burrow and stuff like that, then he can have another good trade and stuff like that.
The thing is, it can be a downside as well by having lots of infestors, because ultimately infestors alone don't kill stuff that effectively. They need support units, so by having a lot of his supply tied up in infestors, he's really quite low on attacking units.
The more important thing is they can just be cost efficient, and at the moment cost efficiency is the number one thing that you want. So it all comes down to unit control engagements and stuff like that, but could be very interesting.
Now, a hatch being built underneath an orbital command, you don't see that too often, but
no.
Essentially we do now just have this one extractor as the only building I can see aside from that hatch, but of course all of Roof's army is there, ready and waiting.
And he does have 18 infestors and 5 ultras. That's so many infestors.
Too many. Do you remember that game a little while ago? I think I casted with you where there was something ridiculous like 20 infestors, and there was a head-on engagement, and it just got annihilated because the attacking units went down, and you can't engage head-on with spellcasters that well. Now, trying to even use infested Terrans to pick off this orbital isn't going to go too happily. But it is on fire, so.
But he also has burrow as well, and with no command centers, he can't scan. He just did then because there's one in the main. But he can burrow, pop a shit ton of infested Terrans and run away somewhere else, and he has enough for 2 more hatcheries at the moment.
Which he really should build.
Yes.
Because ultimately, the other option available to Krass is just run in and snipe the hatch.
Yeah, that is pretty much it. We have a nice fungal, and we can have another really nice fungal as well. There's also no SCV, so once the medevacs die, they're not being repaired.
Yep. A lot of units were taken out there, but currently Roof has got the supply advantage. This is going to be pretty close, and a lot of those drones being pulled out to go and build a base somewhere else, which is exactly what Roof needs to do. But he has exposed this hatchery, and this could be the problem. This is exactly what I was saying. What if this goes down right now? Why did Krass pull back?
Oh my god. You're right, he doesn't actually have another building on the map. Okay, he's taken another base.
Now he does, but Krass could have won it straight then and there if he just sniped it down.
I think Blast is going to win this.
Roof, he should. Blast Roof should win this, but again, he's only got a handful of Ultras and Zerglings. But he does have the supply advantage. It all comes down to... What I'd love to see him do is burrow these infestors. If he did literally burrow those infestors and just walk up to that siege line, he could have just chucked down a stupid amount of infested Terrans.
Yeah, when you have 14, 14 times 8, that's so many infested Terrans, and now all the Vikings are gone.
Exactly. Why doesn't he just borrow these infestors and just go and destroy this
I,
army?
I don't think he can lose now.
He literally all he needs to do is borrow the infestors and simply walk them up and kill.
Oh my god, the Broodlings they just run and that's it.
This is pretty crazy, but Krass has not rebuilt their command center, so.
Yeah, he still has floating buildings.
But
But
there's nothing that, as far as I'm aware.
in my opinion, Krass can only lose or draw at the moment.
Well, he can't go to
So-
a draw because he can't scan to see those drones. But I just don't get why Roof doesn't just borrow those infestors, walk them over, and lob, say, 40 infested Terrans just in a circle. But that's a huge fungal growth there.
Nice. And once again, like I said, he can't repair these tanks.
Exactly, which is nothing but annoying. But there are some buried infestors now. So
Yeah.
why does he just move them over? But there is one buried infestor right there. There is just lob the infested Terrans. There he goes. He's ready. And this could literally cost the game. And look at those multiple shellings of the tanks. That is not fun. And, well, this is just
What the
pretty
hell
crazy.
is going on?
I don't know.
Two tanks get taken down for free there.
But the trouble is, why isn't Roof engaging? If he loses his hatchery, he's got no other buildings.
No, he's got another hatchery in the same spot on his side.
Ah, has he?
Yeah.
Ah, phew. Ah,
Good game, well played.
So, that is the end of that game.
That was epic.